So, I want to talk about a project that I've been wanting to do for literally 23 years. And I kept putting it off and putting it off because I never thought I had the tools or abilities to do it. And I still don't think I have the tools or ability to do it, but I'm going to start it anyways because I've learned some stuff over the years of doing projects and watching other YouTubers. And that is, even if you don't know how to do something, go ahead and start it because you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out once you get into it. So you've already seen a thumbnail, you've already seen a title, you know what I'm going to do. This is just an image that I printed, that I found online. But if we take a look at this kit that's in pieces, and I was going to dump it out, but I don't want to do that. Let's talk about this kit for a little bit and why it was 23 years ago. So back when I was, probably a junior in high school, 90 or 91, when this bike first came out, I was at a hobby shop and I found the kit. And yeah, I know this is more than 23 years ago. I haven't got to that point yet. I saw this kit in a hobby shop, and it was a little more money than I had in my pocket at the time, so I didn't buy it. But I remember seeing the kit and knew someday I was going to get that kit. Fast forward a few years, my wife and I are now married for about 2 or 3 years. We're in our third apartment, and I buy the kit, and we're in a small apartment. The only tools I have, literally, the only tools I have is a cheap disposable X-Acto knife and some glue and a couple of little jeweler screwdrivers and some paint and a couple of cheap brushes, and that was it. It was it. And I bought the kit, and I did not do that good of a job with the decals. This was a pain in the butt decal, though. I think I did okay, but not as good as I wish I would have done. And now this is what I'm talking. It was 23 years ago when I built this kit. It was 23 years ago, and I did not even paint the body. That's just the white plastic with the decals. I messed up the seat a little bit, so I just filled it into flat black. So I did not do as good a job on this as I wanted to. You'll notice a few wires hanging out. I actually put some LEDs in it. Let me see if I can get a battery and get those LEDs to light up. Well, it's not a battery, but it'll work. And the reason why it's all apart is because when I made this, I had a little, like a watch battery just mounted in here, up in here. So when the watch battery dies, you got to completely take it apart to replace it, and it was hard soldered in. And I took it apart when the battery died, and I just never put it back together again. And I don't remember how. I don't remember which wire is which, so I don't remember what I did. One of these days, and today is not that day, but one of these days I will redo it, put a fresh battery in it, put it back together. So there's those. So anyways, as you saw, the headlight works. Those kind of flickered, worked, whatever. And I tried these, but I don't even remember. I painted it black so it wouldn't backlight shine through here. But right in here, that's actually a blinking LED that all of the turn signals are wired in line with, so that when I would push the button that was under the license plate, all of the hazards would flash, and the brake light would light up, and the headlight would light up. But it's just such a mess. I would have to completely redo the whole thing, and I probably won't. And it's not what this video is about. This video is about the fact that when I built this 23 years ago, I knew that someday I was going to want to remake this thing much larger. This is 1/12 scale. By the way, in case you didn't know, this is a Bimota Tesi 1D. The front steering is not through a normal front fork. It's through a front swing arm. And it pivots right in there through a rod right here to the handlebars. So, like I said, I knew back then I wanted to rebuild it much larger. I was thinking maybe quarter scale. And I actually, as I was building it, as I was taking each piece before I glue it on, I would sketch it out with dimensions, knowing that someday I was going to make this thing bigger. I still have those drawings somewhere. And again, I was thinking 1/4 scale. And I decided to go ahead and start that project. So what I did was, again, I found these I found these drawings online, each side view, and I took it to a local print shop and I had them blow it up 320% to make it 1/3 scale. Let me show you what that would look like. It's big. Let me put a different lens on here. That's as good as I'm going to get it to fit on the camera. This is 29 inches long, 29 3/4 inches long, and about 16 inches tall. The back wheel is about a little under 9 inches in diameter, 8 7/8 in diameter. Actually, if I went through center line, it would be close to 9 inches in diameter. Yeah. Front wheel, about 8 3/4 inches in diameter. The reason why I'm making it so big and not quarter scale, because my first thought was quarter scale, which would be, about, that big instead of that big. There's already a couple of companies making quarter scale sport bikes. Now, they're not doing the Bimota, they're doing a Ducati and Poacher and Diagassi. Is it Diagassi or something else? At least Poacher and one other company are doing a quarter scale Ducati or a quarter scale sport bike. I think it's a Ducati. So I wanted to go a little bigger than that. And another reason I wanted to go bigger is because, bigger's cooler. And another reason I wanted to go bigger is because, very simply, I would like to be able to make the engine run. That's not a definite, that's just an idea I'm having that I would like to do. And the Bimota uses a Ducati engine. This particular engine, the bore, is a little over 3 inches. So at 1/3 scale, that would make the piston a little over 1 inch. And guess what I got? I got this. Just imagine that way, but that, and I got 2 of them. I don't want to put that on there because I might get that a little dirty, but if you could imagine, one here, obviously this way, one like that, one like that. That piston is about 1 inch in diameter. It is a 4-stroke. Now what I would have to do is marry those 2 engines together so they share the same shaft. I can't have 2 shafts in here, that would just be silly. So I'm going to have to, the plan is to make like a cast aluminum dummy engine and then take all the guts from here and stuff it in that. I'm not just going to have a weed eater engine setting in a model motorcycle. That would just be silly. Even though you wouldn't see it with the cowlings on, but still, it's got to look like a Ducati engine. So it's going to be a dummy Ducati engine with weed eater parts in it. That's the plan. Will it work? I have no clue. But I guarantee it won't work if I don't try. Now I have 2 of these engines. I also have this one, which I really wanted to use this one because it is a belt-driven overhead cam, which is what this is. Now I know this is a twin overhead cam. This would only be one, but I don't mind cheating a little bit. I mean, I'm probably going to use push rods, right? So I don't mind cheating a little bit. But I really want to use 2 of these. The reason why I'm leaning against it is because this head and the piston, or not the piston, but the cylinder, the head, the cylinder, and the case is all one casting. That would make it really difficult for me to cut this apart or use these pieces, whereas on the other engine, they're different pieces kind of bolted together. I kind of lied. The head and the cylinder are one piece, but they're bolted to the body here. So if I use this, it would be easier for me to make a new crankcase and just bolt that onto the crankcase. Again, I would have to shave off all the fins and all this excess so it would fit inside of the dummy Ducati cast aluminum part. And I think it would be easier to make it work with push rods instead of the overhead cam. I think that would be easier. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out exactly which engine I want to use. But I got these things for dirt cheap. This thing cost me $5 at the farmer's market. I mean, for $5, I mean, I can't afford to not buy it and play with it. So this project is obviously going to be a huge, time-consuming project. This is my long-term project. For those of you who are not new to my channel, you know I'm already building a 1/8 scale Jaguar. You already know I'm building a pretty good sized Tesla coil. I'm still working on it. I haven't put a video out in a while, but I'm still working on it. And I agreed to do a commissioned build for a Poacher Mercedes. So I'm going to be starting that early next year. And I have another Poacher model, the old Fiat, the 1911 Fiat. I want to be starting that sometime soon. So I've got no shortage of projects. So why am I going to be starting this now? Well, this project is going to be so big and so massive and time consuming. This is going to be kind of my back shelf project, my kind of in between projects. I think that makes sense. And the first several months of this is going to be planning out the engine, tearing these engines apart, seeing if it would even be possible to work with these parts to cast this. I'll be spending several weeks, if not months, in my CAD program, drafting out the engine, 3D printing engine parts to play with so I can have actual parts in my hand to see about making these parts fit before I actually start, casting and stuff. So it's going to be a really long time before I have anything actually physically to show you. So why am I presenting this now? Well, mainly because by putting this out to you guys, telling you what I'm planning on doing, that kind of ensures that I'm not going to just push it off another 23 years. That's the plan anyways. Now, if I can't get the engine to run, that's not going to be a project killer. Because the idea to do that, that just came several months ago. So that's not, that would just be a bonus. If I could get the engine to run, that would just be a bonus. If it doesn't run, as long as it looks good, I mean, it's still going to be cool. So, like I said, my main point here was just to present it, let you guys know what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be working on. If you, if you want to see progress on this, just stay tuned, but be patient. Be patient with me, because like I said, it's going to be a while before I come back and show you any progress at all. And if any of you really want to help out, if any of you have another one of these that you wouldn't mind sending me, hit me up in the comment section. Or better yet, see these engines, they are borderline. If they were like a millimeter bigger, they wouldn't work. If any of you have a couple of 25 or better 20cc, 25cc four-stroke engines that you wouldn't mind shipping me, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know. Let me know if you have anything to help me out with. I think this is a 29 or 30cc. But if you have like a 20 or 25, a couple of them that you could spare, again, got to be four-stroke. I think that'd be easier to fit in here. But I got what I found. They were cheap. And so anyways, I'm going to stop talking. I want to thank all of you guys for watching my crazy idea here. And until next time, thanks for watching.